I do think that women want gentlemen. I do. I think that those women that buy into this nonsense all the time and hear all this nonsense about how, oh, when a guy opens a door for you, they're just trying to make you feel small. No, honey, they're trying to be a dumb. He knows that when he opened the door for you, that you could if you wanted to. You've got arms, you can open it yourself. He's trying to be respectful. Most women absolutely do want that. And most women want a man who can defend himself. Most women want a man who cares about taking care of himself and his family. You know, they want a man. They don't want a boy. They don't want a boy who needs a safe space. They want a man. And they've been trained that that's a bad thing somehow. And some of them take the bait. And you know what winds up to those people? Those women wind up very unhappy. People say to me, "You afraid to get canceled?" I'm like, no, I'm truly not even a little bit. I mean, yeah, would it be annoying if I tweet something out and they suspend you and then you can't post? You know, it's annoying. And it is a symptom of a disease. Don't get me wrong. This desire to suppress by, you know, the mob, this desire to say, oh, you think differently. Like, look what was labeled misinformation. Most of what was labeled misinformation in the last 2 years wound up being accurate information. Let's be honest. And now you can't, you know, call a man, a woman, a woman. Biology ceases to matter. Words cease to matter. The word female has been changed. Now it's got to, you know, everybody's got to be made to feel good about themselves. So we got to change that word in the dictionary. You know, it's all about it's all emotional. They want a whole, the left now seems to want a whole world that's just subjective. Nothing's grounded in reality and nothing's grounded in facts. And there's a reason for that, because in the land of reality and facts, they lose. They never come to the table with facts. They never come to the table with policies that actually work. They come to the table with feelings. They come to the table with, that's not fair. That's not just, you know, redistribute the wealth and all of this, like, oh, you know, we need to create a fair society. And in the process, they create a society where people are out of work, where people can't afford to fill their gas tanks, where people are struggling, where people view each other as the enemy, where community and family disappear. I mean, all of these things, where crime is on the rise, where they break stuff in the process of trying to create what's fair. It's all a language game. But I'm not interested in the land of Oz. You know, I'm not looking to go over the rainbow and sit in the little pot of gold. That doesn't exist. So I'm comfortable in the space I'm in. I'm very, as you may have noticed, I have.
Yeah.
Quite.
How do you really feel? I'm not reading you here. What's going on here?
I really should be more blunt with you, Dave. I really should.
So I want to back up to something that you said a minute or two ago about some of the things that you talk about besides politics. You mentioned men and you mentioned relationships. You know, I toured with Jordan Peterson for a year and a half, and he was always, a large portion of his audience was males who were trying to, you know, stand up straight with their shoulders back, get their lives in order. And it does seem like we have this like dearth in society of men that have their shit together, basically, that are kind of living the right way to find a woman or find a dude or whatever, but to live like a full life. It seems worse. Somehow it seems worse for men than women right now. Do you think that's fair to say? And what do you think's going on there?
Well, I think there's been a demonization of men, you know, and I think feminism, you know, and when I say feminism, I don't mean feminism as it was intended. You know, a lot of the founding feminists were pro-life. I mean, it was a very different vision they had. They were talking about, you know, equality of opportunity. They were talking about a society where women had the chance to succeed, removing those very legitimate barriers that existed for women at the time. And it was a very pro-life movement, as I said. I'm talking about the feminism of today, how it's been morphed, how it's been taken over by the left, and now it's like it's empowering somehow for women to be slutty. It's empowering for women to, you know, to rag on men. You saw what happened to Kavanaugh. That disgraceful. I mean, they just tore that man down with no evidence. They made a decision about who he was. This idea that men, you know, are bad, or men should take a back seat and be quiet and let the women talk. This idea of toxic masculinity, and oftentimes what's referred to as toxic masculinity is just men being gentlemen, men wanting to take care of themselves and take care of their families. Yes, men being strong. So I take all of these things on, and I think that men in many ways have it harder. And this is near and dear to my heart because I'm raising a son. You know, I'm raising a son at a time where men are too easily demonized, where boys on college campuses are being told to sit down and shut up. It happens all the time, where they're told, oh, take a back seat, let the women talk, or they're, you know, sexual harassment charges. Just because you're charged with something now means you're guilty if you're a guy. Yep. So this is all near and dear to my heart. I think feminism has in many ways damaged men and damaged women. You know, I played a clip the other day on my show of a woman out there talking about, how it was empowering for her to be slutty, and, it was the patriarchy's fault, that everything that happened to her was the effect of the patriarchy, and, all this nonsense. And I'm like, they've really done a disservice to women. Women who now think it's shameful to be a housewife. Why? It's shameful to be, or being a mom isn't. Being a mom is the most important job I have. It's the most wonderful, rewarding, important job that I have. That was my superpower, right? Carrying a baby, that was my superpower. They've robbed women of all these, and now they're robbing them of more, right? They're taking their trophies. They're taking all of their, woman of the year. It doesn't go to biological women anymore. We've got to make everybody feel welcome. So I think feminism has done a huge disservice, in short, to men and to women. And what should really exist is mutual respect, people who respect themselves, who care about, themselves, who are free-thinking individuals, and who respect each other. And that's been lost and I think walked all over by feminism, of modern-day feminism, I should say.
There's obviously so many weird parts of this. I mean, the idea that the people who are championing women are literally championing a guy with a penis. I mean, Leah Thomas has a penis. That's just a fact. Connor, my director over here, mentioned the other day, why is he or she such a good swimmer? Because maybe it acts as a propeller. I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty clever. But
amazing.
But the people, it's good. It's good. But the people who were championing women are now championing this guy, girl, whatever you want to say, as the winner. And I think it is my belief that I think women want regular dudes. I think they want those guys that open the door and do those gentlemanly things and actually take care of themselves. The other meme on this one is that every other week, one of Daily Beast or Salon or one of these idiotic websites write how working out is now part of the alt-right. The far right is using fitness as a tool to recruit.
Right. It's like all of these things that would make you feel empowered as a person, right? All of these things, health and wellness, being fit, feeling strong, wanting a strong man beside you, wanting a gentleman, being comfortable in your own skin. These are all things, why? Because they want a society of dependence, right? They want you weak. They want you subservient. They want you feeling unhappy with yourself. So now you have to maybe go live in the metaverse, and maybe a big tech guy can go make a bunch of money off of it because you're too afraid to enter the real world.
Don't forget the prescription pills. Don't forget the prescription pills.
Exactly right. I was just going to get to that. They want you chronically ill because then you're a repeat customer for big pharma. And this idea of being healthy and fortified, and that's very threatening to a lot of the ideologies espoused by the left and a lot of people they love and they, change dollars with oftentimes, whatever. So in terms of big pharma, I mean.
Yeah. So
this sense of personal responsibility, this is their enemy. This is their number one enemy. And I do think that women want gentlemen. I do. I think that those women that buy into this nonsense all the time and hear all this nonsense about how, when a guy opens a door for you, they're just trying to make you feel small. No, honey, they're trying to be a dumb. He knows that when he opened the door for you, that you could if you wanted to. You've got arms. You can open it yourself. He's trying to be respectful. Most women absolutely do want that. And most women want a man who can defend himself. Most women want a man who cares about taking care of himself and his family. They want a man. They don't want a boy. They don't want a boy who needs a safe space. They want a man. And they've been trained that that's a bad thing somehow. And some of them take the bait. And you know what winds up to those people? Those women wind up very unhappy. They wind up very unhappy, very, very unhappy in life because they're listening to this nonsense. And wind up alone oftentimes because they've bought the story. They've bought the story. So I think a lot of it is about, it's not, rejecting modern day feminism is about embracing female empowerment. It's not about tearing it down. It's about saying it's you. You dress slutty. You attract the wrong kind of guy. That's on you. That's on you. Own your own decisions, your own choices, and what is the result of those choices. Own it all, and you'll feel some control over your own life for a change.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about the media instead of nonstop yelling, check out our media playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, check out the full episode playlist. They're both right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.